Welcome, everybody. Excited to have Super Regional in Fort Worth, and certainly have a great opponent. Gonna have good weather, knock on wood, should be dry, and great crowd. So gonna be a great showcase for college baseball in the state of Texas, and we're very happy to host it at Fort Worth.
We're going to open up the questions for the players, let the players then answer everything and be able to get out of here, and then we'll leave Coach at the podium. So fire away for Evan and Tyler.
Tyler, you had a really good start your last time out. Seems like some of your best games are in the postseason. Your thoughts about tomorrow?
Not closer. I like pitching with a lot of pressure. I like when the stands are full. It's fun, but at the same time, tomorrow's got to be a start. It's just the same as a normal regular season start or preseason start. You know, I can't overhype it in my head. I just got to go out and make the pitches that I know I can, and yeah, I can't overthink it.
Evan, what did you see out of Tyler's last start last week?
I saw what we all know Tyler can do. He was executing all of his pitches. He was attacking hitters, and he was letting our defense do the work for him. He just executed good quality pitches and kept his pitch count low and just kept going all nine, which was extremely huge for us.
Tyler, A&M's batting over 305. They have 6 guys batting over 300 in this lineup, 5th in the nation in homers. How do you approach a lineup like this?
Well, we have a game plan, and as a pitcher, I know that I just need to keep the ball low in the zone. I need to attack them with my fastballs, like I've done pretty much everybody this year. And you know, I need to find my off-speed pitches early, and that'll open up the inside and outside corner with all my pitches. And mainly, I just need to keep the ball down. With a team that has as much power as they do, that'll be big for me.
Tyler, Coach has talked about how he can kind of get out of the way of this team and let it prepare itself. I know you're only a sophomore, but has that been easy for you to do too, kind of following the lead of the older guys?
Yeah, we have a really old team this year and a lot of experience, and what that does is it makes us younger kids have a lot more experience. We live through what the older guys have done and been through. So I don't feel like a sophomore. I'm sure Evan doesn't feel like a freshman. You know, so we're able to follow in their lead and prepare and get ready for big games like this weekend.
Evan, you didn't have an older catcher to look up to here. Where did you take the lead from?
From every single senior or every single upperclassman I could get my hands on. Before the season started, I actually took a couple guys out to lunch and just asked them a bunch of questions on what it takes to succeed in a program like this. And these guys are like older brothers, and they're making me feel like I've been here and done that. I mean, without those guys, my transition would be a lot less smooth.
How much did that lunch cost you?
It cost my parents a little bit, but they were okay with it. And I mean, I'd do it all over again because that was some of the best advice I've gotten here at school.
Tyler, Coach talked about a great showcase for Texas. You're a Texan. Is that with the juices going a little bit more? The fact that it is A&M and it isn't all Texas?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't one of the guys who grew up and was a huge fan of one school in particular. I was born in Chicago. My parents were all from up north, so I wasn't really tied to one school. But if we're playing one team from Texas, I'm glad it's going to be A&M. It's going to be a lot of fun, for sure.
Why is that? The one team from Texas you're glad you're playing in?
I was recruited by them. I have a couple friends on that team. They're close by. You know, a lot of the guys on our team are from Austin and Houston and around that area. So I think it's just going to be a good competition.
Who are a couple guys? Are they guys that are in the lineup?
Not everyday players, no.
Both of the players, of course, Texas A&M leaving the Big 12, going to the SEC, you being the last remaining Big 12 team left alive in the tournament. Do you feel like you're kind of carrying the Big 12 banner against A&M this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pride in it, being the only Big 12 team left. and there were only 3 of us to begin with. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to represent the Big 12 and the Super Regionals, and hopefully we can represent it in Omaha.
Tyler and Evan, what do you guys think when you heard about the ticket story this week that the Aggies might have bought out the stadium?
I didn't believe it. I don't think there's. I mean, I know purple. There's going to be a lot of purple. Our fans have been great in the regional. I know they're going to be extremely great in the super. You know, I'm excited to see a lot of purple. I know there's going to be a lot of it, and you know, I'm looking forward to we're being real loud.
Evan, do you care who's in the stands? Otherwise?
Absolutely, I care. I mean, purple is. I hope the purple is loud as ever. And when I heard the story that A&M bought all the tickets, I didn't really believe it because Mr. Del Conte is the best at what he does, and I know he's going to sell as many tickets to the purple fans as he can.
Got time for 2 more questions.
Evan, that same question for you in terms of carrying the Big 12 banner against an SEC team that used to be in the Big 12, and then going back a bit, way before your time at the Southwest Conference days. Do you look at it in that manner in terms of carrying the Big 12 banner for TCU?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it like that, but now that you mention it, yeah, it'd be great for the Big 12 and especially great for this university to carry on the Big 12. And we're just looking to put a couple good ball games together and keep going for as long as we can.
Evan, the success you guys have had against left-handed pitching, what's behind it?
I mean, we have a breaking ball machine in here with left-handed pitchers, and I think some of the drills we do with Coach Mo has really prepared us, even though we don't have someone left-handed to throw batting practice. Also, seeing guys like Alex and Tyler and Drew Gooch, and seeing guys like that in the fall and in the spring has been really good for us, preparing us.
Okay, thanks, Evan. Thanks, Tyler. We're going to leave Coach here now.
See you a second.
Ticket story a distraction for you this week?
None whatsoever. Urban legend to me, urban myth. You know, I want to have as many people in the ballpark as we possibly can. If we could sell 10,000 tickets and fit 10,000 people in here, I could care less who they are. I've been a part of a super regional in Skip Burtman's last game against LSU in 2001 at Tulane, and we sold 15,000 tickets in 5 hours. And we were the national seed, and it was probably a 70-30 or 60-40 LSU crowd, which players love that. You know, I love it, but you know, I know what the ticket breakdown is, and so we welcome those things. Those are, if you're a competitor and you want to play this, I would rather play in. If they could split the freaking crowd for all I care, I'd rather play in that than some lesser facility on the West Coast that only hosts 1,100 people. I mean, competitors want to be a part of competitive environments, and I'm a competitor, and so I welcome all those things. So I didn't think twice about it, and there's holes in the fence. Purple can sneak in more if they want.
You feel like the crowd helped you in your comeback?
No question, no doubt. I've said that all week long, that normally the play on the field has to inspire the crowd, and our crowd really for the first. I mean, we've had some great crowds in the regionals and super regionals in the past, but nothing like that, where they literally inspired our team. Not that we needed it, but when that first hitter came to home plate down 8-1 in the 8th inning, they got on their feet, and it was like, come on, guys, you can do this. And so our team fed off of that, and as much as, I don't know NC State's team personally, but if you're just an outsider watching what happened, you'd have to say that affected, their play. And certainly in this super regional, that's going to be null and void with a school like A&M, from the conference they come from and some of the atmospheres that they play in that conference. They're going to be used to it. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's certainly going to be not going to be as foreign to their team as it would be to somebody else.
Do you think you're speaking for the Big 12 a little bit, taking on A&M?
I don't think of it that way at all. I mean, we're proud to represent the conference, but we're just trying to win a baseball game, and I don't want our guys thinking about that stuff. All they can control is how they play the next pitch, and we're getting ready to meet, and that's all. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. This is a life opportunity. This is a life experience. That doesn't mean we're not trying to win. but I've been a part of, this will be my, sixth or seventh super regional, and I've been a part of winning them. I've been a part of losing them, and I know the teams that win them, first of all, you got to play well, but second of all, you better just enjoy the heck out of it, because if you build too much into it, it'll be over quick.
Along those lines, how much fun is it that it's a couple of Texas schools with the College World Series berth on the line?
It's awesome. It's the best, you know. No disrespect to playing Pepperdine or UCLA or something like that, but you know, going to Texas in 2009 and 10 was awesome. Playing LSU at Tulane was awesome, and you know, having this opportunity for, you know, on ESPN with their A group here to broadcast it, national TV. I mean, that's why I came to TCU, to be a part of building something like this. And I mean, I've talked to TCU fans in the past week. They're like, you know, we're getting ready to play a super regional in front of 7,000 people in Lupton Stadium. And 13 or 14 years ago, they were considering dropping baseball here. And so I think we've come a long way. And not that we're not trying to win the whole thing. We're trying to win a national title. But this is going to be fun, and we're not going to make it anything more than that.
Coach, there's a lot of power in the A&M lineup. They have 68 home runs. Is there anything you could learn from facing a powerful lineup at NC State that maybe carry over into this week, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's a really good point. We've talked about that as a staff. We were really impressed with NC State, especially their right-handed hitters. And we know, you know, A&M's park plays a little bit different than ours, but we know how physical they are, and that if you there's not normally a whole lot of pressure on the bases unless they change their MO this weekend. But what they do is they punish mistakes, and so, you know, that's why you know, a guy with command like Tyler, you know, if he's on, he'll give us a good chance, and we know what Preston can do. But if you miss in the middle of the plate or you pitch behind in the count, you know, they're going to make you pay no matter what the wind's doing. So it's going to be a great challenge.
Coach, what's the key for Farrell going forward his last couple of games he's playing, you know, back home, so to speak, that we're watching? You talk about what it seems like to move forward.
Move forward from just how his last. Well, honestly, you know, I've said that I thought he was lights out. He was as good as he's been all season Saturday night. He just got beat on one pitch. As a matter of fact, when he got the second out and struck out number 10 for them, we looked at each other in the dugout and said, man, this guy's back. I mean, he was rolling. And I thought the pitch the guy hit out. I mean, the guy hits 97 miles an hour. It wasn't up. I mean, matter of fact, it was a little bit down and ran into his barrel. You got to tip your cap sometimes. That's never happened. And so, you know, and then you bring a closer in when you're losing. And when that happens in the big leagues, it's ugly. You know, when they bring their closer in and you're winning by 6 runs, sometimes it gets ugly. So I'm not putting any credence into that. Riley's 32 or 34 in his career in saves. It just so happens the last 2 were recently. So there's nobody that I've ever coached in 25 years that I would prefer to have on the mound with a game on the line in the Super Regional than Riley Farrell. And so he'll be out there Saturday if that's the case.
When you recruited him in A&M's backyard, did you think initially that you'd have a realistic chance to get him?
Well, certainly you don't, you know, I mean, they got a great program, and Coach Childress does a good job with pitching. And I think at the time maybe Riley's mom was, you know, worked at A&M, and so we had to convince her more than we had to convince Riley. But I know this, being the local school sometimes is the kiss of death. I mean, we've lost Fort Worth players that everybody would think he's going to go to TCU, and mom and dad want him to go to TCU, but little Johnny wants to get away from home. And so, you know, a lot of times that can happen. It happens that way. No, I didn't. I mean, you don't really recruit relief pitchers. It just kind of evolves that way once you get everybody here and see what their strengths are. But I still think he can be a starting pitcher. You know, obviously we hope he's a really high pick on Monday and has a great pro career in signs. But if he were to want to come back next year, we would really spend a lot of time on developing him as a starting pitcher, because I think our pitching staff will require that since we're losing so much. And I've told every GM, scouting director, whomever that's asked me that he can start if that's what they want him to do. But right now for us, that's the best role for him, is to close.
Is there anything you think you could do to maybe cut back on the strikeouts a little bit? Did you see anything Monday? Because there's a lot of your hitters have, you know, more strikeouts than they're usually prone to. Is there anything you could work on, or was that just one of those nights that they were throwing some guys that?
Well, I mean, you got to look at our opponent. I mean, they were, I don't know where they're number one in the country in opponent batting average. So we knew going in that they were going to be throwing some guys out there with serious stuff. We also knew that if you looked in their bullpen, there were a lot of walks and there were a lot of hit batters. And look what happened. So the scouting report going in is you're going to have to take some blows. You're going to strike out a little bit. And, you know, we don't swing early in the count that much. Our guys are free to do that, but we're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. I mean, we could easily cut down the strikeouts by swinging early in the count at bad pitches, but your goal is not to reduce, you know, strike out the least. Your goal is to play good offensive baseball and win the game. So, I mean, I think the Astros lead all of baseball in strikeouts, and they're doing pretty good. Not that I obviously would like to cut them down, but it's more about playing good offense, and you know, I'm not concerned about that at all.
How much have you grown to trust Evan talking to your pitchers on the mound?
Unbelievable. Yeah, again, there are some things that happened over the weekend. We'll talk about after the season where he showed some leadership. That was, again, Brian Holiday-like. And he's been amazing. And it's not so much me noticing as it's the pitchers listening to him. You know, guys that are 3 and 4 years older that would be very easy for them to say, hey, young buck, why don't you just sit back there and catch? But they really respect him because of the work he's put in. And again, he's going to be a marquee player in this program for a while.
How rare is it for a guy to start 59 games as a true freshman, 46 to catch one?
And every single one of them in a cleanup spot. Incredibly rare, especially on a good team, you know, that plays in a great conference and plays a great schedule. So, I mean, we signed him to do that. He's a very special player. He's gone through his lumps. He's learned a lot along the way, offensively and defensively. But we knew after losing Bachok that we were going to have to sign a guy, and they were going to step in and play. And it was just a matter of keeping him in the draft last year. And once we did that, we knew we were going to live and die with him.
You scored 39 runs in the regional. Is that more than you can expect most postseasons?
We did, you said? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know what the average is, but the deeper you play, the tougher pitching you face. So, but I mean, we led the Big 12 in hitting. I mean, batting average at least. I mean, I'd rather lead it in runs scored, but I mean, I think we have a pretty good team. It's not a very sexy team. You know, there's not a lot of homers, or there's not a marquee All-American player just yet. Although, you know, Evans. I mean, Cody's the Big 12 Player of the Year, and Evan and Connor are both, you know, should be freshman All-American. But I mean, you've seen us play. It's a sound offensive team that plays good team offense. They play for each other, and there's some depth in the batting order where if we don't score, if the top 2/3 don't get us going, the bottom third can. You know, so we'll see.
Coach, what's it mean to have players you have confidence in, like Barzilli and Williams, to come in key roles here the last couple of weeks for you? How's that come into play for you?
Sure, you know, it's great, you know, and I mean, but every team no one player or no one starting lineup is really going to carry you the whole season. You're going to somebody's going to have to do something. You know, these kind of series they always come down to like the extra pitcher. Not so much maybe in a super regional, but a regional for sure, because especially when you get in the losers bracket. So last year it was Tregloff and Brian Howard in a 22-inning game, and this year was Evan Williams and Barzilli. And we talk about that all year long, but it's easy for a coach to talk about and really hard for a player to accept. And so those guys are to be credited for how they've handled not playing a lot during the season and then being prepared for when the game came calling.
Are you able to just give your guys a set of instructions, this experienced team, just to set us and watch them go?
What do you say again now?
Are you able to give a team like this a set of instructions and trust them to carry it out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, these guys, this is the most low-maintenance bunch I've ever been around, you know, and I trust them wholeheartedly. It's similar to 2010, and where you do the least amount of coaching in terms of, you know, preparing. I mean, we run practice and we have a lot of structure in our program, but in terms of, you know, if I see something wrong or I have an issue, I can pull Keaton aside or Jeremy or Garrett Crane and say, hey, man, I need you to handle that, you know. And a lot of things, I'm sure there are a lot more things I don't know that get handled. So it's a luxury. It's something we're going to miss. But I think great programs last over time, and you create a culture where that feeds itself. And I think we've done that here. I know we've done that here.
Is any one team with more pressure than the other team you feel behind this regional coach?
I don't think so. I mean, I think you just got two teams. I mean, I don't know A&M's situation, but our team, I don't feel any pressure. You know, we've had a great season. We've put ourselves in a great position. Now it's just a matter of, I know it's cliche, but it's true. It's just a matter of playing good baseball.
Can I get one more, Mark?
Hmm?
Your thoughts about instant replay in this Super Regional?
Yeah, excited about it. Looking forward to the meeting to just actually define. I think we had it in the Big 12 championship game. Just the championship game or the whole tournament? The whole tournament. So it's going to be interesting. You know, we're going to have some fans down here on the turf area. So there's going to be more opportunities for, I guess, fan interference. But, yeah, I mean, I think it should be part of baseball. I mean, I'm okay with it being part of baseball. It's not going to be on the out and safe type things, but, you know, catch, no catch, home run, fan interference, it'll be a part of those things. So good for the sport.